podcast with Jenni and Jenni. This is the Noonas podcast with Jenni and Jenni.
Dual set. Heart to heart. Noonas podcast. Welcome back to the Noonas podcast. As always, with your hosts, Jenni and Jenni. She wasted me. And for those of you wondering, yes, I have survived. I survived my second K-pop show ever. My second K-pop show ever in person. Me surviving to see Ateez in Chicago. Yes, I did go see Ateez in Chicago on Tuesday the 18th. I'm not gonna lie, it was cold. Well, it wasn't cold. It could have been colder in Chicago.
Oh, like into the concert or just outside in general?
Just waiting outside because we stood in line for like a good hour just to stand outside the venue.
That's weird though. Like, why don't they have accommodate? Like, why can't they accommodate like people waiting to be inside? Because it's not that packed of or that small of an area. There was two different lines. I'm not gonna lie, they were like wrapped around the building in different ways. I think it depending if like you're a VIP or not. I'm not 100% sure because it was a lot of chaos, but but I mean, hey, it was fun. I always make friends when I'm standing in line because I'm an extrovert. What can I say? Also managed to snake some freebies too from people. So that's always the fun thing about K-pop concerts, just sneaking freebies. But I'll get into my experience. Yeah, good ones too, because you showed me a lot of like your the freebies that you got. It looks pretty cool designs.
Yes, I'll have to post them maybe I'll post them to our Twitter account before we post the episode. But before we get into me talking about my experience at Ateez, let's just kind of get the spiel of what we're going to talk about today out of the way, and then we'll get into it. But like I said, we're back with another new episode of the Noonas podcast. Another big day of news. Well, not a ton of news, but some news today. We have a ton of music we're reviewing.
Yeah, a ton of music reviews. I guess we're gonna make Cedric happy with the 2-hour show. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, buckle in. Because we have, I think, seven things we're reviewing today. Yep, seven. Count 7. 5, 6, 7. Make me feel like 11. That song has been stuck in my head. I can't believe it. It's an earworm now. So
I know.
I'm glad it's good. I'm glad it's good though. Hey, it's good. But yeah, I mean, we have news talk from the military side of things, as well as like some happy news coming from parents part 2, I guess.
Parent idols or a parent idol.
Parent idol. Because the wife is not famous and wants to stay that way, which I understand completely because EXOs are crazy. Yeah, we have new music we're reviewing today from Enhypen with their repackage album, which came out last week, but we decided to hold it off for this week because it was just been too much last week because we already had 5 things we were reviewing last week, as well as our whole J debate.
Jay did the jet plane debacle.
Sure, we'll call it that. That works. We also have new music this week. We have a lot of actual like solos coming out this week too from like different groups.
Oh yeah.
We have solo from Max Changmin of TVXQ with his second mini album. We have also solos from both Wheein and Moonbyul of Mamamoo. Both of them dropping solo albums within the span of a couple days of each other.
Yeah.
As well as new music from OnlyOneOf and Bambam of GOT7. Again, another solo. We used to be part of a group. Well, group's still around, but we've explained the whole GOT7 thing.
Yeah. Look at our other episodes.
Check our back catalog of episodes, the whole GOT7 thing, because I think we just started when that whole GOT7 thing happened. And then also a new single from Viction. I think it's kind of like a tease before they drop their full album later this year. So, but yeah, let's get right into it. Let me, I guess, get into my experience talking about Ateez. getting to see them finally in person.
Concert? Was it the most respectful concert you've seen?
Define respectful. I blame one Kang Yao-san. I swear to God, the demon has taken fully over him. He's fully part of demon line at this rate.
I'm disappointed because I was about to tolerate Yo-sang because he's like the most sane looking member from like the group, and then like I think the recent comebacks like did him, he just gave in, so that's disappointing.
He says he's the most normal member, and that's very debatable. And yeah, seeing him like from person, I don't know seriously what's taken over him between Deja Vu and because it's usually since Deja Vu, like actually even since before Deja Vu, because I kind of saw it during the Wolf performance during Kingdom. Kind of started there, and then it's kind of just progressed into this whole like energy level for him, just like. He's got some hella confidence now, which I'm like, go baby, go. But man, oh my God, man was grabbing himself on stage, and it was just like, sir, what are you doing? So that was something, and it's just like, I expect that from, I don't know, like San or Sungwoo or somebody, or Woo Young even, because
It can't be as bad as like from like NCT 127's concert, like where they had like a couple of members really going with that Magic Mike type performance. I'm looking at you, Johnny, who is born and raised in Chicago born Johnny Sta. I will not forget.
Yeah, I find that hilarious because if you go find that clip on YouTube, they did that in Seoul, so people can't scream and shout because of the whole way they banned performing, and so we're not banned performing, but way to prevent COVID from spreading. That they basically you had to clap politely,
respectfully. That is the most respectful concert experience. Respectful. Whereas meanwhile, the performer, meanwhile the NCT members are hoeing it out.
Meanwhile, are literally shirtless grinding. It's seriously Magic Mike performance. But no, seriously, like for Ateez, like, well, this is their first show now because they had 3 shows in Seoul where again they had they couldn't have any screaming or cheering or singing along. I mean, they kind of got I think cleverly with the claps. They gave out castanets to the fans. So it was kind of funny. So it's not like little like crabs. So everyone's making like crab claps. So every time that you're talking and stuff, it was kind of cool too because they did for the people who showed up, they did like a fan like decorating contest for people to decorate their castanets, and they actually did like a photo card giveaway for that, which I thought was pretty cool. Nice.
Very creative.
Artini is really, really creative.
I love that name, Artini.
Artini, yep. Nice. It's a whole subsection of the fandom. But this is the first time that they could actually like have people like screaming and singing along and stuff. And, like even Hongjun, like he made a comment. He's like, because I will let you know, like they actually really have practiced their English. Like they spoke a good chunk of English, like in between songs and stuff, like in their like chunks. I think they would perform a couple songs and then like they take a break so they could get water and stuff, and they would talk in English. Occasionally, like if there was a thing that they wanted to really express, like they couldn't quite get the English out, then they would go back to Korean, and there was a translator. But like you could tell they've really worked on their English. I know Hongjun at the end of the show was like, you guys, like, we've worked on our English so well, but you guys have really worked on your Korean, because we were keeping up with them singing the Korean pretty super well, I think, throughout the show, with the Korean lyrics and stuff too. Like he was, I think they were just super impressed with that. Like you could tell that they were feeding off that energy off the crowd, and that they finally got to perform in front of a crowd that actually gets to cheer and sing along. And I think they've missed that for the 2 years that we haven't been able to do that because of the panini. Yay. So, but I mean, and they played they played almost all the hits. Like, I mean, they played every single title track, from Pirate King to Say My Name and Holla Holla, to Answer, to Wonderland. Heck, it opened up with Wonderland. It opened up with the Kingdom rendition of Wonderland, like the Kingdom remix of Wonderland, which was, that's always amazing. because it's one of my favorite remixes.
I think it works better when they play like the Kingdom versions for like live performances, because it makes a more cinematic, epic scope of it. So
yeah,
I mean, good idea that they did that.
Sitting to the point that Sungwoo was wielding a sword.
Yeah, and they have like their pirate.
I don't know if you all just heard my roommate off mic there, but she just screamed yes. But yeah, seriously, that man was wielding a sword, because slaying the Kraken. But yeah, it was. It was like it was just
prop in the concert.
There was no Kraken prop, unfortunately, but like they still were like I mean, they still had like the backgrounds and stuff like pretty like dynamic and stuff, like because they just had it was just them on stage and just like the video screens and stuff. But like
so
you
maybe
could tell
the VCR
they were just
of the Kraken, maybe the VCR of the Kraken.
I don't know. It'd been cool if they had a VCR of the Kraken. That'd been really cool.
Yeah.
But no, they just had like the crashing waves and stuff. It was still really, really cool and still like cinematic and stuff, because like they were still doing the old, like the original choreography to Wonderland with the music from Kingdom, and then like they still did that, that dramatic piece where Song was, walking down the aisle of people with the guns. Instead of having a gun this time, he had a sword. So yes.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just like it was really a show. Like, I mean, I like all the different stuff, and like, and even some of the B-sides that they played, like they had some great combinations of the B-sides. Like I think one of my favorite combinations of the B-sides is they did right before the end of the show. Like this literally is like right in the last section, right before they came back out for the encore. They did after fireworks. They did a remix of like Good Little Boy into the Leaders to the beat. Like one into the other, and they flow together super, super well. And it just was super high energy and like in your face and stuff. So, and then I did like the fact that they finished the show up actually with one of, I think, their favorite B-sides as of late, Rocky, because they've talked about Rocky so much. Like Hong Jun's loved writing that song. Mm-hmm. And it's got such a great song. It's a great like high power song. And they did that into the reel to finish up the main set list before they went into the encore set list. Which is a little bit more, touching at the end, because they played a little bit more there's like, they're more sweeter stuff, because they finished it up in the encore with Eternal Sunshine, Dancing Like Butterfly Wings, Star 117, which is the fan song that they created back in Wonderland era. And then they finished it off with Turbulence. That was the last song of the show. And nice. So yeah, which, not gonna lie, I was trying really, really hard not to cry during Turbulence, because it was just really, it was really emotional, because it's like the end of the show, and I mean, they went a good 3 hours. Like, they were trying to push 2.5, but I think because they had a pretty tight like schedule, because they were still doing like VIP like meet and greets after the show, but they still went over, and the show didn't end till like 10:30, and the show started at 7:30, so. They were really like, they just had so much fun. There was one moment where I can't remember what I think it was in the third section where, it was right before Inception. Yeah. So it was right, so they were during Wave. They were, so like to the beginning of Wave, they were in, like kind of standing on stage and like talking, like waving to people and singing and stuff. And the last part of the song, then they were going back to do the choreography. Well, Woo-young missed the timing of that. Because all of a sudden you see the 7 of them dance, and Woo-young's still out in the crowd, like out on like the lower step of the stage, like waving to people and stuff. And then he just looked over at them, like they're like halfway through the choreography. He's like, he like runs back and runs and does the choreography.
Like a double take. It did like a double take, like.
And then, because the thing is, because after that they were talking, they had a little like, it was like when there was like pre-planned things, like Hongju's like what did I dream about, and then Woo-young was like, yeah, I dreamed last night that I somehow missed the transition in Wave, and then Hongju just kind of looked at him. Hongju just kind of looked at him, because I think Woo-young was kidding, and just kind of looked like, boy, if you don't. Like, it was really funny.
After the concert, we're gonna have a talk.
We're gonna have a talk. No, it was just really, really funny. Like, it's just also I know there was I know Wheein got his hands on somebody's phone because I did actually see the Twitter. I saw they got posted to Twitter. He got a hand on somebody's phone. And they got their phone from the crowd and actually like recorded him singing and then got it back. So someone posted that to Twitter. So you have to go find that. It was pretty funny actually. I think it was the same person he was staring at before that he got distracted during Wave. I think it sounded like and like the front part of the stage. So also apparently there's somebody that dressed like a giant eggplant who was doing like all the VIP stuff. It was kind of funny. Excuse me.
What about giant eggplants?
So somebody dressed up like in a giant inflatable eggplant costume. I don't know why. She didn't have it on for the show. She took it off for the show, which was a good thing because it was hot in the venue. But like for the like meet and greets and stuff, like literally for the high touch, like because you can touch them, you couldn't really like actually shake their hands or like anything because of COVID. So it's just them standing in front of a plexiglass screen now, so you can be recorded, and they're literally just like you just literally run through and just say hi. And she recorded herself running through. And it's like literally you just see all of a sudden like the first few people I think are Wooyoung and San, and you see San just like double over laughter as you see him like realize what the heck she's wearing. It's really funny. You have to go. I had to go find it on Twitter and see if I can retweet it. It's so funny. It's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, some of the fans came on. There was a lot of Ateez get-ups and stuff. I kind of tried to pull off a bit of a Ateez look. For my concert outfits. I didn't have everything. I was wearing one of my kimonos because I don't have a black trench yet. I'm still working to acquire a black trench. That's like my last thing I need to acquire to have a full Ateez look. So I'm close. I'm very close. But yeah, no, I highly recommend you guys, like, seriously, if you really like, if you're questioning if you want to go to a K-pop concert, like, and you're like thinking about it, just go.
It's like a once in a lifetime experience, or like rare experience that you're gonna have to like check it, especially if you're like a K-pop fan. Hopefully when the panini is a bit cleared up, like hopefully there's like a concert that like a nearby concert that I can check out.
Yeah,
I know. I think the last one I've heard was like with Eric Nam in Calgary, but yeah, I was like, I don't know with this time.
I know. I know I have friends who are going to see Eric Nam in Chicago. Actually, I think he's coming next month in Chicago. And then, like I said, me and my boyfriend are considering to go see Epic High in March. Yeah, in Chicago as well. And then I'm still waiting because I know Stray Kids has teased a world tour. So has 17. Like that, there's going to be world tours for both of them. So this might not be my only show yet this year for K-pop. So stay tuned because I'm definitely getting my hands on Stray Kids tickets. I will tell you that right now. So
I'm glad that you really enjoyed your time in Chicago, and even the post like Twitter or the post tweets from Ateez from Ateez, like they really like, man, Chicago, you guys like brought it up.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I think like 4 or 5 of the members like tweeted after the show, like they were just like, whoa, like you guys brought it. Now I have to wait and see because I think as the night we're recording this, the 20th, they were performing in Atlanta tonight. So we'll wait and see what happens in Atlanta tonight. Nice. But we'll see what
Hopefully
happens.
Hopefully they don't do Chicago.
I'm hoping not. That would be horrible. That would be horrible because we did so good in Chicago. So
we tried.
We tried so hard. But let's get into some of our actual like news of the week, not just my personal news, but actual news of the week. And I guess the first one we should get into is, I know this one kind of broke our hearts a little bit, but it's also kind of a good thing, I think, too. And that's regarding Taemin and his military service. And it was announced back on the 14th of January in Korea that Taemin, who's currently, like, he's been enlisted. Oh, when did he go back in? In July?
I think so. Last year, July last year.
Yeah, so Yeah, it was summer of last year. So I think he's been in for only about 6 months into his like military service. And he had been in the military band. Well, it was announced on the 14th of January that he actually has been transferred from the military band over to public service to finish out the remainder of his military service due to worsening symptoms of depression and anxiety, which he's been open about having these. And I know more Equal Eye fans have noticed him kind of looking a little bit more like,
yeah, like a bit despondent, like during like the days when he enlisted, like he's not. Yeah, usually whenever you like if you know Taemin, like always see him in that bright, happy personality, and the ones who really know Taemin or like know him, like watching the videos of him, like you can kind of tell that he wasn't really feeling excited like going into the military. So yeah, that's why I kind of like sense like I don't know if I consider myself an empath, but like I can like kind of tell like he's feeling kind of like not himself. Before that, even like when he was like being escorted to the military with his other members, he kind of looked not, like I know like there was like a lot of like paparazzi, like taking pictures, and he was like looking down and all that. So it's like. Yeah, like I kind of like I felt kind of like worried, like man, like I hope hopefully he doesn't take it too hard. But
yeah, I know wasn't it like weren't his members trying to actually have him go into the military at the same time they were, so like then he didn't have to like shoulder it by himself. That's what I've heard. I've heard that from some shows. That they were trying to get him to go in at the same time, but he decided not to. Decided to go in obviously at the later time because he's the youngest member again of Shiny. And obviously the other three members now have completed their service and they're on the other side of it now. But yeah, it kind of breaks my heart because like, I mean, anxiety and depression is such a hard thing to deal with. And yeah, having and being away from like a stable like environment, because I mean, the military is so rigid and so structured. I think that just, it doesn't phase well, for people like it doesn't encourage that. Yeah.
And the thing about him, just North Korea. I mean, Korea in general. Like mental health is still like a kind of a stigma issue to them. Like they still don't want to like open up and like talk about being that vulnerable with other people because they still see it as a weakness. But I'm kind of glad that many celebrities and idols are slowly trying to like promote and like bring more awareness to like these issues because because South Korea has a lot of like cases where a lot of people like suffered and like go through like a very sad path with their lives. So really hope that they're learning their lessons just so they won't like lose and like have other like members that they care and love suffer like severely like that. So I really hope like with Taemin it's like a stepping stone for people to and other people to like really like look out for him too.
Yeah, to show their love and stuff. And the thing to note too about him moving from being in the military band to going to public service is that at least with public service, like he can go home. I believe he can go home nightly, like sleep in his own bed to kind of have that structure. So that's why I think it'll be hopefully a little bit easier for him. Yeah. To be able to get through the rest of his military service. The thing to note too is like if you started in the public service, you would have to usually be enlisted for 2 years because it's for people considered quote unquote cushier because you get to be home more often and that kind of thing, and you're not like fully like in the military. People consider
And plus, like I think you have like more opportunities to like for people to visit you as well because you have like more more freedom to like go out and see people. So at least it gives them like more more like an open spot for him to like reach out to like his Shiny members. And I'm pretty sure I know Mino, T, and Onyu are probably like visiting him more often, like seeing how he's
for sure.
doing. Yeah. I like seeing what they went through was like you really hope like they really like take care of him.
Yeah, they're giving him all the love and support he needs, and even even other people from SM are hopefully giving.
Yeah, SM.
He's got so much love from like the members of NCT, his members from Super M. They're showering him with love and support that they can right now, because he definitely deserves it. And so, hopefully, so thankfully it's only like another year. I think he has to do of military service. About a year, maybe a year and a month. I think he'll be out January 2023, I think.
I started in July. I heard like probably like maybe at the end of the year, like November, December. Like was one of like the articles, but I don't know if it'll change due to him going through like public service officer. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see indeed. But I know it was kind of interesting too. Again with the Panini. Like some people actually just said, like for their final breaks, like they said, nope, you're just done with their service. Thank you. You're done to mitigate people coming back with COVID potentially. So some people got discharged early because of it. So who knows? Like it's kind of all up in the air right now with how they're doing it in the military. But I guess on some happier news, but also with SM Entertainment this week, although we're talking about now the group EXO. We're talking about also another member who's enlisted in the military, Chen. Chen welcomed his second child into the world, actually back on the 19th. Yeah, we have another child.
Father two.
Now he's a father of two instead of one. He's had two. He said, well, no, the first kid he had before he enlisted. Now this is the second one, and he had it while he was enlisted. So, but no, he's almost done with his military enlistment. I think he has to go until, because he enlisted back in October 2020. So he's got to be almost done.
2021, like maybe later in the year. I have no idea like the dates of like enlistment and how long it takes, because it depends on like what the position that you're in.
It does. It depends. Yeah, I guess it depends if you're in public service or not. So it depends on what your job is.
Army. But yeah, like no, can we now, with him being a father of two, can we petition him to be the next Return of Superman? He's gonna be like the next dad.
You really want him on that show.
Actually, if you guys watch the video, right? Yeah, I made like a Photoshop of him and his like fake kids, but like kids in general, and then I have him like in that black background. And if you guys are familiar with like the show The Return of Superman, it's like it's a reality show where it features celebrity parents, because they're welcoming like mothers now, celebrity parents looking after their kids for like in the weekend. So you'll see how like how they take care of them, or how like the ways of like how they raise them. So it's a very cool and funny show. It's like the kids are so cute,
especially because they always like tend to center on the kids more than the parents, and the kids are always adorable. The kids are so cute.
Oh my gosh, the new kid, he's like a half Scandinavian, half Japanese baby. Oh my god, like I've seen him like for months. He was like a 4 months old baby. And then now he's grown up to be like, he's able to walk recently. He's like, oh my gosh, look at him. He's so big too. And he's like, he's like,
it's really cute. You do see these kids grow up, and like the kids have like come and left the show and stuff, and it's a really cute show. Like it's a lot of good fluff. I'm not gonna lie, it's some really cute fluff. Like if you need something just good and kind of sweet, just to kind of like cheer you up, I recommend Return of Superman. It used to be focused more on like celebrity dads and stuff, but as Jenni said, they've opened it up now to like moms, and like more of like the mom, like working moms and stuff too. So, but kind of showing their like struggles of raising a kid in the industry and stuff too a little bit.
The show either wants you to become a parent now, or maybe like never become a parent,
or never.
Like, you have to deal with this. Maybe that's not
It's one or the other usually. So. But I'm actually was really happy because I knew the kid, I knew the little one was coming soon, so I'm happy to know that the little one's here, happy and healthy too. So it's always a good thing. So I'm hoping Exels. I don't know. I try to stay away from toxic Twitter because but I know after the first one that was so bad. I think it's getting better. I think people's least internationally. I'm not sure about the Korean fans.
Yeah, international are more open,
international
more
fans.
accepting. I still can't get over like the news that Chen has another child on the way. It was like Chen did it for the second time. Disappointing.
I love that meme you made. That was so funny.
Yeah, I know it's supposed to be bad because they're like, like anti Chen being a father and all that. It's just like that was like made. It's like it's so funny.
Well, he's got another one. But at least he's almost home soon, so then he can actually, raise his kids.
Spend time. Yeah.
It's going to be family time. Stanley, has some, father, children bonding time.
Yeah.
So
bonding time.
Yes. But all right, well, let's get into these albums because, like I said, we have a ton to get into today, like a ton. And again, we're just going to keep like the way we've been doing it, just in chronological order, the way they were released by the dates. Just seems to be the easiest for me to like organize my notes. So we're going to start, I guess, with the first one, which technically came out when we were recording our last episode, but we didn't want to overwhelm you guys all because, like I said, we had so much happen in our last episode. So we kind of talked about it a little bit on our last episode, but that's Enhypen's Dimension Answer, which is their first album repackage, which came out back on the 10th. Their first repackage again, since they had their first album drop. Oh God, when did Tame Dash come out? That was back in the fall because I know that got postponed.
Yeah, I know. I said like it felt like really like a summer theme music. They should have been like released it during like the summer. So yeah, I think it was in the fall.
Well, they had to because of them getting COVID, but this time around, we're now dealing with actually 2 new songs and a new outro. But we have the new title track, Blessed Cursed, which I called it at Mama. I saw that title track on the screen. I called it. Because I saw that pop up at the end of the performance. I'm kidding. Like, well, I can sense what the hype is doing, but also sensing what hype is doing. I think we're onto something with this whole rock thing, aren't we?
Yeah, I said I was about to like spoil a bit like last week or like last week's recording that the Hype really likes a lot of like they're really going through that like rock phase in their in their music business production, but yeah, I think I'm really enjoying like a lot of like I openly welcome more rock sounds and in K-pop. So yeah, I think that their comeback was was fine.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I don't know what you think.
It's a different. I mean, I will say this: it's screams. I mean, just from the style and the sound in the music video, screams like turn of the century. I'm talking like turn of the millennia. Yeah, like late '90s, early aughts, like pop rock, alt rock, pop, like that whole entire sound. With those just driving guitars and the vocals, even like I said, the music video, even the whole entire look, like their look with their clothes is super back in that era. The music video, a lot of fisheye lens because that was the hot thing back in the late '90s. I remember this is like immediately reliving my MTV days when I was watching MTV ridiculously back in my middle school, high school days. Like the whole thing screamed like super flashback in that era. And I mean, they did a pretty good job with being very faithful to that kind of that kind of throwback to that kind of era of music.
Yeah, but still keeping it like the standard or the signature Enhypen sound. I feel like it's like a nice flow of like transitioning into like more of like their rock or like more of like that angsty phase of their concept. I kind of wish that they had like more like more references to like their vampire their vampiric concepts, but I think I think it was like I still enjoyed it like as its own song.
Yeah, there's not a lot, not like I'd say like Drunk Dazed has more of the references, or even Tame Dash has references to Tame Dash has a lot of references to their vampire lore, as well as Give and Taken. Even Drunk Days has some references. This one doesn't have a ton of references to their vampiric like backstory a little bit, but I mean, a tiny bit, I think, in the music video, because I mean, they're, like I said, they're kind of playing with this whole, like, that's them at the turn of the century, again, showing that they've been alive for a very long time in this universe that they are created. I will say that I think the song is a little, if you are not a fan of something that's a little bit more like one tone throughout, I will let you know it is a little bit one toned. Like, it's kind of so, like, there's no like variations, there's no like, you know, beat drop or anything like that. But I think it kind of does give it, again, that throwback charm because of keeping with that one tone, because it was a lot like that in the 90s, in the early aughts, because it just was the very just driving kind of sound. So you know, you can knock it, but I liked it. So
yeah, I liked it on its own, but I did wish like there was like something more to just like having like just like a tribute to like the 2000 sound. Like I did like I was the same thing for me with the Muji sound Ruby. Like I liked the sound and like how it, you know, how it's played out, but it kind of felt like it was cut short in like at the end. I was about to like I was expecting that they were gonna do some kind of closing like segment, like a closing bridge chorus, and then like to the outro kind of type of formula. So I was like kind of felt like I was like hanging in there, like, oh, that's it. I was like, okay, like I mean, I don't know, because you know, could have added something more with that.
It's not as abrupt as Ruby, but it still kind of does just end. So I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that criticism too. Where there could be almost like a third, like almost just like finishing thing to it. I mean, I still think it's okay for what it is, but it just could almost use that. I'm not sure. Like it's like one of those things where like it could, but it couldn't. You know, I'm just like, it will fall back in my head. I'm like, I mean, I dig it. It's not my favorite title track. I still think Drunk Days is my favorite title track of Enhypen.
Like their
right
peak
now,
Enhypen, like you know, era of like songs.
Which is crazy because that's their second, you know, comeback. That's their first comeback. Literally, that's their second title track. So, but I mean, this is so because I like that more angstier sound that they have. Because they kind of had that angstier sound, like even like in the beginning, because they kind of had that even starting with Give and Taken. And it'd be nice for them to kind of continue that. And it'd be interesting to see how that's going to continue on in the future. Because this does feel like this is the end of this whole Dimension era that we've had. And now we're going to basically chapter 3. Because I mean, literally the outro track was called Outro Day 2. So we're like ending another chapter, about to start another chapter in Enhypen's storyline, discography, what have you, in terms of like what's going on. So I guess I also want to know what you thought about the other new song on there, because basically the rest of the album is everything else that was on the previous album that came out.
I know.
So
I don't know. Like
these are just slapped on the end.
I know, like, because I'm like they only other than the Blast Curse comeback song is like, I don't know. I didn't find anything like that grabbed my attention with like the other 2 songs. I mean, like the one is the outro, so I don't know what I can say with that. But with the Polaroid Love. I mean, it kind of feels like a continuation from, you know, like their chill like summer track from their last album, Dimension Dilemma. So it was like, you know, not my favorite. So I just like, you know, just noticed like like that's how it sounded like.
I will say, I'm not gonna lie, after a couple times listening to it, I'm like, why does this remind me a little bit of Wii Shopping Channel music? Like that piano. Also, shout out to Hotline Bling.
Oh my God.
It just, there's something about it just remind me of Wii Shopping Channel music to it a little bit, like that piano.
Really? I'm gonna like
a little bit.
I'll probably like listen to it. Maybe someone already did like the comparison video.
I have no idea, but it just was like, why does it sound like the Wii Shopping Channel all of a sudden? It kind of does in the back, just the piano does. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that like, it seems like inclined for like almost like the TikTok crowd, like to like, you know, put behind like a video or something, or like make an edit or something. Not that I have not seen, you know, edits of these already floating around TikTok and or Stan Twitter, but of other groups, you know, getting mashed up with this, but I have. But yeah. I mean, it's a standard repackage. Honestly, it means it's just 2 new tracks and a new outro. Basically, like I said, slapped right on the end of everything that's on Dimension Dilemma, literally, because it's everything like from previously. Like they didn't drop anything from Dimension Dilemma. They just basically just re-put everything on there and then just added these 3 and called it a repackage. So not much else to say about it, I guess. So
yeah, just go look at our like our other previous episode when we talked about the Dimension Dilemma.
Yeah,
that's pretty much a review.
Go listen to our Dimension Dilemma review back in September regarding that album. I think it might have been on our comeback episode or one of our first episodes back. We talked about that coming back. So if you wanted to hear anything else about the rest of the songs from that album. So but let's just move right along and get into our next album. This is the first of our like slew of like solo releases this week, coming from people who have had careers in groups who are also releasing solo music. And this is coming from Max Changmin of TVXQ, which is a gigantic, successful second generation group.
Oh yeah,
king.
Talk about like influential like K-pop groups back then. Is like TVXQ was one of those like list.
They were up there with Big Bang in terms of like influential groups like that have influenced idols of today. TVXQ's up there. But this is one of the members, Max Changmin, and this is actually his second solo mini album, Devil, which came back out on the 13th, with the title track also known as Devil. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this one caught me off guard. I was not expecting like full on soul gospel.
K-pop. Yeah, like a bit of like a country twang into it, and then like I knew from the get go like this is not an original this is not an original song. I know it's like sampled from something, and then after I listened to the song, I started like searching and like digging through like, okay, where the heck did he get the song from? And so I got the answer, and it came from the original artist, whose name is Alex Runo, with the same title track named Devil. But yeah, only Changmin like changed the lyrics into a more Kwangya remaster, of his remake of the song. So that's pretty much it. Like the music and like how it's arranged, it's pretty much the same.
Okay, which seems to be what Essence been doing a lot nowadays. I've noticed. Oh yeah,
but they've done this like way before. They've done this way before, before their heyday. So I think it's usually their thing. Also, by the way, the original artist for Devil, Alex Runo, kind of looks a bit like Chris Brown, our friend Chris Brown. So really? I know because watching the video, and he was like shirtless with a cowboy hat. Like what's Chris Brown doing there?
That's okay. Now that's an image I can't get out of my head. Thanks, Jenni. Great.
I wanted to tag him, but I didn't have the time to show Changmin's Devil and then put like the original video.
I had to do that. You had to do that after we're done recording today. I'm just telling you that right now.
Oh God.
But yeah, like. It's super gospel soul. Like think like Hosier's like Take Me to Church, but not like as depressing. Rain. Like it's just like almost like this like building of sound. Like it's almost like it feels like a weight on you. Like it's gonna weigh down on you, but it's in a good way. Like it's that build up, that crescendo really works well. And he really sings soul, like
oh my God, he's like one of like the most powerful voices in SM entertainment, and it really fit well with his type of like singing.
Like it's something, because I mean it's how quiet he starts, with the more like more soulful stuff, and then it gets like full gospel in the chorus, and you're just like, whoa. It's like comes right at you in your face, and you're just like,
I was about to raise my hand and like, Ray!
I know, like preach, sir, preach.
Take me to Kwangya. I know.
Yeah, just drag us off to the Kwanya at this rate. Because there is a reference to the Kwanya in the song, like literally.
Yeah, the final, yeah, but
like sigh. It's like cursed because SM. Oh, hi, cat. My cat has decided to come visit.
Devil.
Speak of the devil. I was not expecting soul, like full on like soul gospel and K-pop, but like here we are. And
I think it's a great refreshing. Yeah, it's a great refreshing thing, especially when you like listen to the whole album and where it like the whole album does not sound like this your standard K-pop sound, which I'm really thankful for. Like we need more like a different style to because we can like we can already tell like this sounds so K-pop-ish, but Changmin really brought like that breath of fresh air with his like the whole album is like an ode to like classic American pop music and even like movies too. Yeah, like I don't know if you want to go on with like his next song from there, which is Maniac.
I do, because like I mean, going from Devil to Maniac, which I'm like are like completely two different tracks, because like Maniac goes into like these like 80s Elton John, very like super like high, you can almost like imagine like high stage production, full on with like everything like Vegas style kind of production behind the song if it was being performed on stage.
Yeah, to me it felt like a bit of like a swinging 60s era sound with a bit of glam rock into like his song like with Maniac and like his other songs in there. Because when you like look at the music video, it feels like it's like something like you would see in the 60s, like those those show performances with the musicians and artists. So it's like full on like like an ode to like rock and roll and like pop music back then, and even like the movies and TV shows, because if you watch the music video, he references a lot of like iconic scenes from like a lot of Alfred Hitchcock movies, like with Vertigo, with him falling down, Psycho, like the first shot of him like getting murdered in the shower, The Birds, The Shining, with the typewriter, Big Lebowski, and even I think like how is it the music reminding me? It reminded me a bit of like even Rocky Horror Picture, because it has like a little bit of a time warp type of sound.
Yeah, there's something almost like musical, like super like big musical about it, like theatrical musical. Like that's why I was thinking like on a stage, because there's just something about that quality that just gives that like production. It does sound like something like you would sing in a musical. And I love it. As a musical nerd, I love it. So
like with that song Maniac, and especially I think my favorite track from there is Fever. Though those songs make me want to break out into like a like jazz jazz dance and like break into like a musical number like from Chicago.
Because Fever almost kind of starts off a little bit kind of like continuing on that like the musical kind of feel, and then it breaks into something a little bit more modern combined with it too, because there's a little bit like more hip hop influence to it, and like not a ton, but a little bit, and like hip hop rock, and it's this kind of great amalgamation of like modern with the bit of the musical feel, and it's again another like almost like show stopping number in a way. That it's just you're like, whoa, like, sir, okay, like again with his vocals, because he's an amazing vocalist, and it's just it's this is something like I've heard of in a while, and it's this whole entire album has just was a fantastic listen. Like even the last song, like Airplane Mode, I kind of dug, because it's like it kind of slows down a little bit at the end, but it's kind of got this like kind of interesting like lo-fi beat.
I think
quality
so too.
to it as well. That it's like it's not super like it's not like what you think of like most end of the music, end of the album kind of stuff where it's like super saccharine and sweet and just like completely like winds down. It still kind of has some high energy to it too, because there's some really driving bass to it, but it just still has like kind of that like lo-fi beat, girl lo-fi beat energy to it. So that I really dug.
I think my other favorite tracks, I just like, oh my God, like I think pretty much the whole album is like just like listen to everything from that album because it's like, you know, like 6 songs from there, and I even like probably included from my 2022 like top 10. I'm just like putting it down for the list just in case, because I really dug the hell out of this album. Like my other favorite B-sides was Alien and Dirty Dancing. Like a lot of the songs are so super effective. Like they really make you want to like dance. Like with Alien, it feels like a more tropical, like disco funk beat into it. Like it kind of reminds me a lot from like, you know, Marvin Gaye's Got to Give It Up, even a bit of Doja Cat's like Say So, and even Dua Lipa's Break My Heart. It has like the really like, you know, like the really sunny like you know, atmosphere where you can like dance on the beach. It's like it's so fun to listen. And my other one would be Dirty Dancing. It's like it feels so sinister, but it's making you like, it's like tempting you like in, you know, wanting to like dance, like do some like, you know, salsa and, you know, tango. It's like it's super alluring, and it has like that Latin pop beat into it that kind of, you know, makes it more of like into the heat of the moment.
Yeah, it definitely goes back into like that Latin pop, like we saw a little bit in K-pop, like back like in the like, you know, late 2010s, like 2017, 2018. But it still really keeps up with the whole entire flow of this album with again just how it's all produced and stuff. And yeah, I mean it's like people could think it'd be all over the map, but it works together. Like they all do click together so well, because again there's just this amazing like show-stopping feeling to it. That's just, you're just like, whoa. So I highly recommend this album, like especially if you want something completely different, like off the radar, like to surprise you in K-pop. Like go check out Devil.
Yeah, and it feels more growing up in the sense where it's like, you know, it doesn't have to be like the K-pop, you know, like, you know, the typical K-pop, like, you know, young boys, even like, you know, grown up people, like, you know, who's like have an appreciation and an affinity for like the old time, you know, music eras. I think you'd probably appreciate this, you know, this album.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
This has a lot of appeal to a lot of people. So if you're interested in the slightest, go take a listen. Highly recommend it. So, but let's move on to our next album of the week, and this is our third one. And this is actually this is a smaller, not as known group, but I remember when their album came out last year, and that music video came out last year, kind of shook the K-pop world by storm a little bit.
For the moment, it's like, what the
for a moment. What is the sexy energy coming from here? And this is the group OnlyOneOf. And this is their album Instinct Part 2, which came out on the 14th, with their title track Skinz, stylized Skinz. Also to note, this is the first album now post one of the members leaving. Their original leader, Love, left the group towards the end of 2021 for personal reasons. And so they're now continuing on as a group of 6. I think they're just about to get out of rookie status, because they believe they debuted back in 2019. So they're just about to hit that 2-year mark for them. So they've been around for a little bit. Like I've heard a few things of OnlyOneOf, but yeah. When Libido came out last year, like that kind of shook everyone in the K-pop world who listens to K-pop, because that was
Libido.
some like,
Libido. If you guys want to check out the music video,
that was some like boy love-esque. That music is very boy love. Like unabashedly boy love. Some BL drama, anybody?
Even the choreography, like that. I don't think they weren't able to perform on live, because like their choreography was really spicy. Like they were grabbing crotches and like almost like going into. I
saw some performances. Like they were still able to perform on some of the music shows. They were still able to perform that.
Yeah, I can't believe they were able to like get this far, and then like people like wait a minute. There is a literal crotch grab, and there's leashes. Anyway, before I default back into Libido, let's focus on this album. And let's focus on Skinz. The title track for this of Instinct Part 2. Again, another kind of I'm not gonna lie, they're like They're really going for the
boy love. Stop.
Yeah. Well, okay. Like when I first like I saw the video like last night because I was like cramming everything, and when I looked at the thumbnail, I was like I was really like scared like to even click it because like they were already on the ground, like with their like like shirtless or like almost like a shirtless shirt, like with just like exposing their chest. Like, oh my god, I don't want to see this, man. Oh, I'm scared,
and
man.
we're back. And we're back.
But the video though, it's not as like overt as like their last hit video or with Libido, but it's still it has like a lot of subtle undertones when it comes to like some LGBTQ themes with like the visual scenes and even the lyricism. Like it's more ambiguous, like it can refer to like either a girl or a guy, but yeah, I like how I kind of they're not doing it for I really hope they're not doing it for a cloud, like they're like they're like they're actually really supportive of like
from what it
movement.
sounds like it sounds like they really are supportive of this because like there's a whole message in there like blurb on YouTube, like it doesn't matter what your skin tone is, we all have the same skin, like whether white, yellow, pink, black or white, like anything like that, like we all have the same skin. So like they're like kind of playing on that too, and like there definitely are some LGBTQ themes throughout. Like it almost seems like because like the video is shot in this perspective of like first person, like somebody else is looking at it, but like I don't feel like it's me. I feel like it's like it's somebody else. Like it almost feel like it's a guy. Because
if you look at the hands, like they're like holding him and it looks like a guy hand.
It does. It almost.
I'm theorizing. I have a theory.
Go ahead.
I think it's honor of their leader, Love.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah. High five.
High fives. That's exactly what I thought too. I thought it was in honor of their previous leader, Love, who, like I said, left the group. To kind of show that there's still like this out of them, and they still love him, and they still really care about him and stuff. So, that they still really do support him. And considering I'm sure, assuming he had to make a really tough decision to leave the group, having to give up what he wanted to do. So, yeah, I totally got that vibe as well. As for the song itself, it's a very experimental song. I felt like it's almost a bit jarring to listen to when you first listen to it.
When I listened to it, I was like, it's not going to be for everybody. But for me, on first listen, I personally dug the sound.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me a lot of like if you guys are like into like the obscure like experimental artist, go check out this American like electronic musician named Tobacco. The first thing that reminded me, and I had to look it up. It was a song called Motor Liquor, and it has like the similar like heavy distorted bass sounds that they used in their song, and it even has like they don't really follow like some kind of like structural form of like music arrangements, like they don't go it almost feels like they're intentionally like only one of is like going in, I think they were intending to make it like sound off key and off beat, like with like with the tempo. So I really like I appreciate that they're going something different, but it's still really like it's just like a signature. It's becoming, I think they're building it to like making it their signature type of sound. I can kind of like tell like how they sing is like, it sounds like an OnlyOneOf like they would do.
Yeah, because they kind of have this thing where they do like to play with like them kind of going a little bit off beat. So it's just like it's slightly off or slightly out of tone, but it works for just how the production and the distortion blends in with it. And like I said, it's not for everybody. I can tell you that right now. This is definitely not for everybody. I get this one, it could possibly maybe take a couple listens too. It definitely is more rock, club rock driven, I think, too, than their more rock driven, because I know Libido is more clubby. This one's a little more rock driving with the songs. But like the interesting thing was all their title tracks, it was only one of, like everything has been different with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're always getting something new with them experimenting every single comeback. So, so maybe if you don't like this one, like maybe something in the future, something they previously did might be more of your taste, even though it's experimental. So like they're always trying to find something new or trying to push the envelope a little bit. It's just like, I find them kind of, they're with a smaller agency, so they don't get a lot to look at.
I know. It's like criminally underrated because like looking at their view counts, it's just like right now, I think they're in like the 800,000 view counts. Like, I feel bad, but hopefully they'll be able to like push through, and if the company has like more faith in them, like hopefully they can like continue on and like be like that underrated like type of like group that like people would just like later appreciate. Hopefully,
yeah, exactly. 'Cause they really have this very very interesting, distinct thing that like is very different from anything else you're gonna see currently. I think in K-pop, is like I said, it is just so out there. And like I said, they're really playing with these like again these LGBTQ boy love kind of themes, especially in a time where like I've been seeing at least an increase in like boy love dramas, albeit online and stuff, and at least like like the younger generation at least is like a little bit more supportive of it. It's still again really highly frowned upon to be openly out in Korea. So, obviously for them, it's just gonna obviously really appeal, I think, more to the international audience for them too. So, I mean, I really hope for them to have a lot of success with this. Honestly, because he's because this I think this is very, very different than what I've heard. What do you think of the other tracks on Instinct Part 2?
I think like my favorite tracks with Suit Dance and Gaslighting. I think Gaslighting was more of my favorite because they have more like the club dance feel like they did with Libido. So, and I think they're really effective in having that really mature, but it's almost like an obscure club dance where you can still like groove to it,
Yeah, I like Gaslighting a lot too. There's something almost like dark and sultry to it. Because there's like this like darker edge to it because it kind of like the lyrics just kind of put you on edge because I think this is like in that toxic kind of gaslighting kind of situation. I did also like the last track on here, Ultimate Bliss. It was kind of it was a poppable song to me. I really dug it. It was very bass heavy. It was very bass heavy for a poppable song, but I really liked it. And it kind of still felt in that vein of like OnlyOneOf of like the music I've liked from them. So because I've liked some of their other stuff even before Libido, because I actually I knew of them before they basically broke K-pop stan Twitter with their last comeback. So like I had heard of them and had listened to some of their stuff. But yeah, I mean I think are highly criminally underrated. They're really trying to push the envelope out there and deserve a look. I mean, like I said, I don't think it's for everybody. Yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see which camp you fall in because, like I said, it's very much personal tastes with them. So, but at least I appreciate them trying something new, especially with a small agency. So, yeah. That's the major thing too. So. Well, I guess with that, because I think we're finally getting deeper into our tracks here. We'll get into our second, our second solo release of the week in terms of solo artists who are part of groups, and that is in the first one from Mamamoo because we had two from Mamamoo this week, and that is member Wheein with her. I guess this. I'm not sure how they're going to classify this because this is her first EP since she left RBW.
It's like her first her first solo venture outside of RBW.
Yeah, post RBW. So, but back with her first this EP called We, and the title track "Make Me Happy." I mean, I know people have always talked about her, like how she's kind of been like underutilized in Mamamoo because she's got more of like a softer vocals in the group compared to like the more like stronger stuff like Solar and Hwasa. And Hwasa.
I think Hwasa has like more of like a nasally type of like sound, like she doesn't go like for like the powerful like I forgot like the term, but powerful like singing range. I think Hwasa and like Wheein have like more of a similar like range when it comes to like singing, and they're like more soothing with their vocals.
I agree with it. Yeah, I can agree with that. Especially Hwasa with her solo stuff too, which we saw on her stuff that came out at the end of last year. With I'm a Bee, with I'm a Bish. Yeah, but like I think Make Me Happy this kind of continues a little bit, like this sound and stuff. I think continues a little bit from her stuff that she had on Red, which she released at the end of last year, which is the last EP she released with RBW. But this almost seems like there's not a ton of production on this. Like this isn't just more of an opportunity for her to showcase her stripped down, vocals. More bare bones.
Her vocals and her vocal range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just more to showcase like her vocals, and then like the instruments and stuff are just kind of like playback seat to that. Like this is just an opportunity for you to kind of like more look at her vocals and understand her vocals. I mean, I think "Make Me Happy" was a pretty good song because like it's really lets her like her melodic vocals shine through. It's a little bit more lo-fi than Watercolor was. So I think I like Watercolor a little bit better.
Yeah, I think we prefer more of like the more energetic type of like energetic songs. Type of songs or music. But I do appreciate that. Excuse me. I do appreciate that she's still continuing to make like the more acoustic style into her discography, because I think she really like fits with like her her style of how she sings and her voice. Her really fits with the more like not the loud like noisy music, but like more quieted down. She really has like a really soothing voice, where it's like makes you feel like so calm inside.
Yeah, it's very soothing. But yeah, I mean, and that's pretty much the kind of same vibe I have throughout the whole entire album too, not just in Make Me Happy. Because it's a very calming, almost soothing, relaxing atmosphere this album puts you in. It's just, again, with her vocals being the album very stripped back and just showcasing the fact that is mostly her, and then like I said, all the music is kind of secondary a little bit. I mean, it's just like there's not much I can say about Make Me Happy because there's not much to it, you know what I mean? To like explain about it, because it's pretty standard.
So I mean, it's like pretty standard. Like I don't see anything that like really like grab or like or like really like move me or in some type of way. But I do appreciate that she's bringing like more of those kinds of styles in in the K-pop industry. I
can same here. Like I can appreciate it. Not my cup of tea, but I can appreciate it at least. Did you have anything that like did grab you actually from her B-sides on the album, or was it just kind of?
It was at the end with Paraglide. I think I really liked the way how it sounded. I think it was like more of the R&B type of like spectrum. I could be wrong because it was like last night, but I think I really love Paraglide.
I think I like Paraglide too. I like Paraglide as well because I think Paraglide had this kind of like very like free. It felt very free flowing. It's very smooth, like gliding tone to it. There's just this really beautiful melody with her voice and the piano in there. There's some like almost R&B-esque style to it too, and I think that was probably my favorite B-side that I liked on this. I also did like the song Pastel. There's almost something a tiny bit Bollywood. I'm not sure if it felt Bollywoodish in the drums on that track to me. And then there's just like almost like this like way she did her tone in the choruses, almost like a little teasing kind of like tongue in cheek a way that I kind of dug because it was something different that I wasn't seeing anywhere else on the album, because it's pretty standard across the album. Like nothing really stands out. Not like, for example, like on Max Changmin's album previously, where like every track like stood out because every track was whoa. Everything here just kind of blended together.
Yeah, that's what I felt like.
So it just kind of was just kind of like, okay, like, I really do like her voice, but it's just like, there was just nothing to like grab me, or like a song that was just like, whoa, okay, I understand like why this is the title track, or like, I really like this B-side. Everything was just kind of meh.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I'm not, well, I don't know. I think meh was kind of like a harsh way to say it, but I think if you want like a background music, if you want to like, find like the best way to study, maybe like go listen to Wheein Wheein's music. I think it helps like have like a more tranquil aura to your energy.
Yeah, be more calming, more like zone out kind of music, because it's just a good way to center yourself. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. I don't know. So, like I said, it's not my cup of tea, but I can appreciate it for what it's worth. At least I can appreciate her vocals. I think she's got some great vocals, and I think she's highly underrated in Mamamoo as a general. So, but I don't have much else to say about her album, unfortunately. I feel like it's a short review, but I don't have much else to say. So I guess I'm going to just move right on to our next album. Or I guess not the next album. It's technically a single release, because this is from Viction. And this came out on the 18th. I should note it with Wheein's. Hers came out on the 16th. Hers came out on a Sunday. Strangely.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
Yeah.
Don't know why Sunday, but Sunday. But now we're on to our Tuesday releases of this week. The next two albums our next two things we'll release came out on Tuesday the 18th. And the first one is a single from Viction, a single album, because there's basically two songs, and then they just did the English version of the title track. And that is Chronograph. And with Chronograph, the song itself, I really dug it. Like,
I think we're seeing a theme here, because like the ones that we've listened to are more like really retro type of like sound, or have like the disco feel. Like the spoiler with Moonbyul, because it's like, wow, it's like a consistent like genre with like all the member or all the artists that we have to listen for this for these comebacks.
There's been a lot of throwback vibes this week, and you're going to see it even with the next two things we'll review here too, because there's a lot of throwback even in there too, especially in Moonbyul's coming up here too. There's something very second gen. It's almost very second gen K-pop. Was I feeling almost shiny inspired? With Chronograph, it sounded like it's really rock, but almost very like melodic rock in a way. Super high energy. They have some amazing sounding vocalists. I need to start learning the members of Viction. I'm not even gonna lie.
I have to. I only know one, because of because with this, it really has like a really nice beat with like a disco funk era type of genre, and it really blends well when you get to like the more modern style of music, like with with hip hop and the rap portions. And man, like they really killed it with the second verse, especially with the member Hanse. In the middle of the song, you can tell, because in the music video he has like the most like unique hairstyle and hair color of like the members. It gave me a lot of Monster X's Juhan, not just like with his comeback look, like he's wearing like the pony, like the pigtails too, like Juhan, but he also like the voice too really sounds like Juhan. Like, that's Juhan. What's he doing in Viction?
He has, because Hanse really does have like this like nasal, like he does have a bit of a nasally like rap tone.
It's really harsh. It's really harsh too. Whenever it's like it really hits you into the core. Like, oh my god, I'm being attacked here. But
it's a very distinct vocal like sound that he has. But he's also he's a very good rapper. I still keep forgetting to go back and listen to his solo album he dropped at the end of last year.
Did he?
He dropped a solo mixtape last year. And I've heard good things from friends of mine. So, I really dug this. Like there was almost something Monster X almost I felt like very similar to that too, especially because I mean we both really dug the last Monster X release, at least the Korean release.
Oh yeah.
We didn't review the English release on the show because they did also drop an English album too. But yeah, there's something almost in that similar vein sounding too with Chronograph, and so I really dug it. Like it was something really fun and high energy, and it was like a little bit disco pop, but it wasn't like super heavy disco pop. Like it's like you can't like you won't notice it immediately, but you'll kind of notice it. It's like subtly under there.
Yeah, it's like a good blend of like, you know, like classic or like, you know, past you know, style of music with like the more modern twinge or modern tinge, you know, with the rapping. And also talking in a technical aspect, I think, you know, the whole sound of the music, I think it was made at the right, or it was like pitched at the right level where you can hear both the music and the vocal works, because like the music doesn't like really overbear like the vocals where you can't hear them, so it's not like noisy. So I'm glad that they have like a right, you know, balance to, you know, do that.
Yeah, there's a really good balance because, like, yeah, I mean, there's like their vocalists come through and they shine, not just in Chronograph, but even on the B side on this, "Want Me," which is a little bit quieter to Chronograph, but still just something a bit subtropical with the beats to it. It kind of had like that tropical sound to it, but like they still had these amazing vocals that still really worked and, you know, are not overpowered by the music, and the music's not overpowering the vocals. And then, yeah, you hear, you know, Hanse's rap come in because, like I said, his intonation is just super unique. And it still catches off guard, but it just still works in a way. And yeah, I mean, this is the tease of what we're going to get this year from Viction, because they've been teasing that they're going to drop another album here very, very soon, because this is just a single album. I'm excited to see what it is. I really am.
Yeah. Same here. I know, like, I think, was it last year or a couple of years ago, like they had that was it called What You Say or something, or What You Say. It feels like very different from like their last you know, comeback song. It feels like that last one felt so bombastic that I really appreciate that they like pulled down with that, you know, type of music, and then continue with like that same, you know, noisy type of sound. So, you know, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's even way different from like Mayday, which is one of their like best known singles too, and which I really like Mayday, and it's different, but it's really in that rock vein that I've been digging a lot lately. So more rock. I love this more rock and K-pop right now. I mean, it's not as rock as everything we've been seeing with Hype, but there is just some like rock minor influences in there. So like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming with Viction. I really, really am. I'm hoping they have an amazing 2022, because like I said, I know they're currently promoting as a group of 6 because one of the members is in the military right now. So,
okay.
So yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I actually have to like legitimately go back and start like learning members' names and stuff now, which, oh God, I need another group. I'm going to start learning members' names and stuff. God help me. It's added to my, you know, ever-growing encyclopedic knowledge of K-pop here, apparently. But because people wonder how I keep it all straight, and I wonder some days, actually. But let's get into our second to last release of the week. This also came out on the 18th, and this is the second solo EP from GOT7 member Bambam with his second EP, B. Which, I mean, this came out pretty quickly after his first one, because, I mean, Ribbon came out, late summer of last year, which we didn't get a chance to review Ribbon.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to review it. Yeah, like last year during the summer, I think.
I think we were on hiatus when that came out.
Yeah, we were.
And but that was a really, really good song. Like, it was a really good, like, for him just as a solo debut.
It really fits with his style. It's like a really bubbly type of like hip hop pop hybrid.
Yeah, different than, like, you know, what we've seen, because like it's kind of cool seeing like all the different members of GOT7, at least with their solo works. like seeing the different types of music and the styles that they've been doing. And we're going to be seeing more because next week we have 2 members of GOT7 dropping releases on us soon.
I like the coordination, like with GOT7 members, like releasing their albums together.
Yeah, so we have Bambam again because I think Bambam and I think TP also like released nearly the same time last year, like at the end of last year too. Because I remember JB dropping one of his tracks last year that was very, very experimental hip hop. But yeah, as for Bambam's album, like for the title track Slow Mo, there was also something like very SoundCloud DIY to the beats, like to the buildup of the beats on this, the production on it that I really kind of dug, because it's very DIY, which I think he likes, and I mean it's hip hop to the point where it's not like, aggressive in your face hip hop. It's more
like a soft hip hop, like it's a soft trap, easy listening, yeah.
If you can call it easy listening hip hop a thing.
Easy listening.
Because there's almost this like almost lo-fi quality to it as well a little bit, but it works. I mean, for the title track called Slow Mo, it makes sense. And he's rapping in both Korean and in English. So and you see that quite throughout the whole entire album too. Like there's like he's pretty like working pretty well with like both languages on the album, I think. I know you had wanted to talk about Who Are You last week, but you're let's wait till the album comes out.
Let's wait till the album comes out,
because he had dropped that before, almost like a pre-release, because he that was featuring Salugi of Red Velvet on the track, and excuse me. I mean, I think they have some amazing vocal notes that blend together very well.
Yeah, I think, listening to the whole album, I still think Who Are You is probably my favorite one of out of the entire album, because it feels the most different and doesn't feel like that standard Bambam type of like sound, because I think he really is going for that soft, bubbly, soft, vibrant, hip hop type of sound that I think Who Are You is like the most unique, because it feels really artistic and interpretive. Yeah, and even like his partnership with Sulgi, like in the way that they perform together, I really dug their chemistry. Like you can feel something like between them especially when it comes to their dancing. It's like. Yeah, you're really drawn to how what they're doing and their movements, and even their voices too. On the technical aspect, their voices suit well together.
Yeah, I mean it's a breakup song, like in a different vein of breakup songs. It works that because you feel like the pain in both of their voices and just the melodicness of it. Even with Bambam rapping, and then Slugi's just beautiful harmonies with the two, because I really like the fact she's throughout the whole entire song. It's not just her just featuring in a section. She's throughout the whole entire song, and I really love there's that blending of their voices on it. And I agree. I think Who Are You is almost a stronger song than Slow Mo was. And I feel that should have been the title track.
I know. I think with Slow Mo, it feels like a continuation with his first solo, which was what's it called again? Ribbon. Yeah, Ribbon. So I think something different. We know with Who Are You is the stronger
track
song. Yeah, stronger track.
Yeah. I agree with that. Like I said, because I vibed with Who Are You way more than I did with Slow Mo. So. Are there any other of the B-sides that you liked off of B?
Hang on. What was No, not really, because I felt like other than Who Are You, I felt like the rest of the songs are similar in tone, I guess, or similar in choice of genre. It does go well with this with his persona. But yeah, I think I appreciate Who Are You better.
Yeah, because everything's pretty, like I said, it feels very SoundCloud, DIY, hip-hop to it. I guess if there's anything else like that I recommend, I really liked subliminal. Wow, I can't talk all of a sudden. Look at that. Subliminal, which because it's kind of got like this trance like almost dream like tone to it. Even though it's still kind of like in that DIY SoundCloud vein, but there's almost like a bit of a trance undertone to it as well. And then I also really like the last track, or I think it was the last track, Ride or Die. Which it's probably the most hard hitting of all his songs, but still super chill because again, it's still fitting that like kind of more easy listening hip hop that he's been doing. So, but it's probably the most hard hitting of his hip hop tracks that he has on the album that I really liked. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, it's kind of crazy. Like all the GOT7 members, like a lot of them have been like who've been releasing music are like all releasing around the same time.
And they're really supportive of it because like every time like someone releases like their song and they always show up and then like like goes with their dance challenge. I love like with Bambam's Who Are You dance challenge that he did with Young J and JB, like they're still clowning with each other. So it's really endearing to see their friendship or like their even a brotherhood, just like see them like act stupid and act silly. So it's like I love seeing those types of like moments.
They're still like they still love hanging out with each other and they're still really really good friends and like they're like I think Bambam keeps clowning JB over on Twitter too. Like it's so funny. Like
hey,
just him, it's so funny. So like they started like a whole like Twitter quote unquote Twitter fight like earlier like last summer on some stupid stuff. It was just it's so stupid, but it's funny at the same time because it's just them being petty with one another.
Recently with Bambam just clowning JB on the Instagram story, just putting up like a random distorted face of JB on the story. So it was like, what is that? Like there's like no context to it. It's like oh yeah, random distorted face of JB. Here you go.
Yeah, it's like, well, this is normal. So I'm looking forward to seeing like also like now I'm comparing this like now to what's coming out next week because I know we have Mark Twan, also GOT7, and then also JB of GOT7 releasing new stuff coming end of this week into next week. So stay tuned for those on our next episode, you guys. So, but let's get to our final review of the week. We've actually kind of powered through these reviews today. I'm quite surprised. Our seventh and final review of the week. And that is Moonbyul of Mamamoo with her latest EP, Sequence, which is styled with the 6. So the number 6, EQUENCE. So yeah, it's interesting. But and then that has the title track Lunatic on it. I think she had a couple other songs I think released previously.
Like pre-release songs. I think like December.
G999 and Shutdown were previously released before this album came out, but they're all on this album as well. But as for the title track Lunatic, like this is because compared to Wheein, like this is a little bit more of my vibe. Because it's had more of a girl crush kind of vibe to it.
And it's more like a shift in tone with because Moonbyul really likes going with like that boy group like concept. Like I think if you compare it with Eclipse, it really goes like hard with like a standard like boy group sound in K-pop. But I feel like with here, it's like a shift in tone with her style, and it still still keeps into her like her signatures way like of rapping and all that. But I really dug the R&B soul transition now for Moonbyul in this album. So it's a nice like nice change up for this.
Yeah, I really dug it too. Like there's just some good change ups and mixed throughout. Like I mean it just starts off to like I mean, I wasn't expecting the way it started off. Like,
like the synopsis intro track.
Yeah, the synopsis, and then into G999, which was super throwback.
Oh yeah! Oh my god! Like the most 90s sound you'd ever hear.
Like this went way back into the 90s. Like
this is like the new jack. yeah, this is the New Jack City like sound.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't know New Jack City, like you can probably like hear like the distinct sound of like the clapping percussion beat, and also like that
Mm-hmm.
that sound like it's like kind of feels like a bit like electronic and brass, like the deer, something like that. I'm making a bad impression.
Lots of jazz, lots of swing influence in there from New Jack, the New Jack sound. So,
R&B and like hip hop, like it's like all like it's a blend of like those genres.
Yeah, but it works so well. Like I really dug it. Like 'cause I hadn't heard this song. I hadn't heard G99 yet. And I really liked it. And this also features the artist Mirani. And the two of them had their vocals together really worked like very well. Like these two female vocalists in this like, almost this like genre, which I feel like has been very male dominated. And you have these two, like females just killing it with this song, and it's just like it's kind of a cool like subversion of the genre a little bit, and I liked it a lot. Just how it sounded, because like it was like this very 90s, almost kind of throwback New Jack swing, almost had like this very first gen K-pop sound to it too, something I could have heard from like Seotaji or even Turbo. So like way back in the day. And then like Lunatic itself is just like this really it's very girl crush, and like that second verse like really really feels like it's definitely girl crush vibes to me. Like you said, it really as she like likes to subvert like the boy group tropes into her stuff, and you could definitely feel it in this, like, because it almost feels like it could be almost a little bit bubblegum, but then like the more you look at it, I'm like, nope, this is definitely girl crush on its head. And I really, really dug it. And like just the almost teasing lint of her voice and stuff too. So I really, I love her rap.
I love her rap style. I think like with the with girl groups, with when it comes to rappers, I feel like she's like one of the best rappers. She's
one of the best out there.
So she's one of the best out there. I really love her style, and like tomboy. Yeah, she's like a tomboy type of like look to her.
Yeah, but it's really, really good. I really dug Lunatic. I think it was just a great song overall. Is there any of the other songs on Sequence that you really, really like, Jenni?
It's pretty much it. Like I like Lunatic. I love G999, and even like the intro track that really like sets up like how the sound is gonna be like with the R&B soul type of style. I like the intro track too.
Yeah, it just like I said, I was expecting the intro to go right into G999 and be just like thrown back into the like way back into the 90s. Like I was thrown into the 90s early aughts already with Enhypen, and then I was thrown even further back with Moonbyul here. So I was just like, whoa, I'm really going back in time. Not that I'm complaining, but yeah, I mean, and then I think I really liked the last track, like Do Do Do. I think it's just there's something very like hip hop-ish, very, very hip hop to it. It's still kind of throwback in a way, but it's kind of blended into the modern that I really like, that still kind of plays with her subverting genre a little bit. And I really like it. It's just, it finishes up the album really, really well before it goes into the English version of Lunatic. But yeah, I think
I think her English version really slaps too. But because you have like a thing when English translated or English versions of a song kind of feels like weird when it sounds. But I think with this, I think it works well with the English translations and the lyrics.
I think it was a good translation, like it, because it still flowed very well, especially with her hip hop and stuff, because like everything's still really like kept up with everything. So yeah, it was a very good English translation. So this was a really good album too. Like I really dug this one. Maybe not as much as I dug like Max Changmin's, but I still really dug this.
Yeah, I wish now like listening to like Moonbyul's album, kind of wish like her and Suga like do some collab work.
Oh my God.
They're really great with like, when it comes to their rapping, like when they're one of the best rappers, and I think they're like the same. I think Moonbyl's with Jin when it comes to age, but yeah,
she's
I think
a 92 liner, I believe. Yeah.
And with Suga as well. But yeah, I think they really go hand in hand with like, with their style of rap.
Yeah, I'm sure Jin could get. I think Jin is friends with Moonbyul. I would think Jin would be able to give him a Suga, and that would be an amazing collab. Actually, if Moonbyul and Suga would actually, if BTS would actually collab, because like I think, they're the way they both produce things, and they're both their hip hop like tendencies could produce some really similar with their taste.
Like they feel really similar with their taste. Like I think like with Lunatic, it kind of reminds me of Seesaw in a way, like to a lesser extent. But I just like
I could see where you can draw the comparisons to Seesaw a tiny bit. Yeah. So that would be amazing. That would be an amazing collab. Add this to our list of potential dream collabs that probably will never happen, but we would like to happen.
We'll petition it on our pages.
Exactly.
We're going to campaign
all of our pages.
Hashtag.
Hashtag get this campaign going.
So we got our campaign for Chen being in The Return of Superman, and we got a campaign for Moonbyul and Suga collab.
I'm all for it, honestly. I'm all for it. So
who's with me?
Who's with me? Crickets. Well, so much for that. No, I'm kidding. But that's it for our music reviews this week. Oh my God, we powered through that pretty well.
Sorry,
under 2 hours. Haha. Under 2 hours. He's gonna boo me later. Oh well. He can deal with it. He always I don't know why he always wants me to suffer through a 2 hour show. He knows I have to edit this stuff. I don't know why, but he likes to tease me.
Like,
I mean, I could have gone way more into like having to talk about Ateez, but I didn't want to bore you guys. So if y'all want to hear me talk about Ateez, come hit me up on my social media. But we got new music coming back next week. We'll be back next week, obviously, even more stuff. I mean, like I said, we were talking, we got both Mark Twain and JB of GOT7 coming out with new music next week. We also have new music for Pentagon coming back next week as well. And I guess we'll have to see what else comes out in terms of music. I'm not sure what else I'm seeing, and there's not much. We're kind of slowing down at the end of January here. So, but we'll have to see if any news breaks or anything like that, or maybe we'll sneak in a Wikipedia or something. I don't know. We still need to talk about our Wikipedias off mic. But I mean, I'm surprised we powered through 7 reviews in about a little bit over an hour. I'm pretty impressed with ourselves.
I know. I thought it would be so long. It's like, oh my God, we had like 7 reviews to do.
I know. But we managed to do it in a decent amount of time. Yay! So, I really have nothing else to talk about much. So I could spend hours gushing about Ateez, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to bore you all. So before I do, Jenni, do you have anything you want to plug before we call it a day?
Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook at Jenni Leano. So that's GINNYLEANO. You can check out my design stuff at Jenni Leano Designs. Instagram at Jenni Designs, and all of my personal stuff, my personal pages will be linked under them. And you, Jenni?
And you can find me, Jenni. You can find me over on Facebook, facebook.com/Jenni Matasek. That's Jenni with an I, Matasek. You can find me also on Twitter and on Instagram at Chaos Bulldog. You can also find the show pages for the Noonas podcast over on Twitter and on Instagram at Noonas_podcast. Don't forget that underscore. You can also check out our audio-only version of our show over on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Noonas podcast, all one word. But you also check out the video form of our show now on Facebook and on YouTube. Just search for the Noonas podcast over on those platforms. Make sure you to like, follow, subscribe, all those fun things. Just always got more stuff coming at you here. We're trying to just keep a more regular schedule, I think, coming at us. every week here. Trying to come out with some more new content too, I think. Now that things are finally settling in for the year 2022. I think. I hope.
Hopefully.
I got through the first hurdle. I got through Ateez. So as I'm waving my litany off on camera here for Jenni to see, because I'm so happy I got my litany. Oh my god, I'm so happy I got my litany finally. Second light stick acquired. I only have one other light stick, and that's an army bomb.
Unlocked.
So achievement unlocked. Next is, I think, Stray Kids is what I'm trying to aim for next, is my light stick.
Yeah.
I think that's the next goal.
Compass light sticks.
The compass light stick, which actually there's rotates. I wish, it's the only thing I wish about Ateez's light stick. They wish they rotated, but oh well, it's cute. I really like it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool. It's very, very piratey because what can I say? I like my pirates. I am spiraling. Hello. I'm spiraling back to Tuesday. I'm spiraling back to Yosan. God damn. Again.
Hey, I'm saying
man's part of the demon line now.
If it's not part of, like, if it's not in the range of NCT's like Magic Mike Dance, I think we're good. I can still probably tolerate them. I just hope San or Songhwa or Hyosan like don't strip down, please. Please.
Well, I didn't mention this before, but Hyosan did have his second outfit with they have these amazing white outfits in the second part of the show. Hyosan had this like cutout where you kind of see part of his stomach and stuff, and then of course he's lifting during Deja Vu, and I'm like,
that's tolerable.
These are no shirts off, not like Johnny took his shirt off in NCT.
I thought if one of them like takes their shirt, I'd leave like. I like, come on, get out of the concert. I'm out. No shirts came off at the show. No shirts came off, but there were a lot of arms bared, and again, I'm looking respectfully. Tongue sticking.
Again, I'm looking respectfully.
I will not mention because I was looking respectfully. I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, we should call it a day before I get myself in more trouble. So, on that note, let's sign off with a resounding
fighting.